My name is Mary Ellen Holden, and I will be this evening's MC. I, along with the rest of the Bristol Tramps Sports Reunion Committee, welcome you to our 49th annual Bristol Tramps Sports Reunion Dinner. Next year will be a big one. Please stand at this time and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation and moment of reflection to be rendered by Father Nick Mello. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father Nick.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Good and gracious God, we thank you for gathering us here today. We thank you for the gift of sports, for the ability to participate as we do, for the unity it builds in our community. We thank you for the example and inspiration of our honorees here this evening. We thank you for the lives and example of those who have gone before us, especially those who have died in the past year. Dear Lord, we ask your protection and blessing in a special way upon the men and women serving our country in the armed forces, especially those on active duty overseas. Heavenly Father, we call upon you to bless each of us here this evening. Strengthen us to be people of peace in all that we say and do. May we always work together for the good of the least among us and for your greater honor and glory. Bless the food we are about to share this evening. Help us to work tirelessly to feed those of our community who are without adequate food this day. We give all praise and honor to you, who are our Lord and God, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Our chairman, Sean Moore, normally speaks at this time. He is not with us. He is home recuperating from surgery. However, we spoke this afternoon, and he asked me to share just one thing with you. At last year's dinner, Sean promised that the Tramps were going to try to become more involved with the community. So this past summer, we were happy to invite a great group of kids from the Bristol Boys and Girls Club to join us for food and beverages and some great baseball at the Bristol Blues. At that game, we then presented the Blues organization with a donation for their youth baseball camp. In the fall, we donated to the Jeff Pierce Memorial Wiffle Ball event, which supports Jeff Pierce Memorial Fund through the Main Street Foundation. That's important to all of us. We will be hosting the annual pre-Thanksgiving Breakfast of Champions in the year 2020. It is currently hosted by our friends at the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. Sean asked me to finally convey his congratulations to all of the honorees and to the scholarship recipients. At this time, I'd like to introduce our very special guests. Father Nick, of course, joins us again, and we're grateful. Our mayor, Ellen Zappo-Sassu, joins us this evening, along with city councilors Mary Fortier and Dave Mills. Madam Mayor, would you like to welcome our guests?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having us here tonight. Usually when we come to community events such as this that are themed with a sports theme, I would tend to talk about sports. But today we were very privileged to have in the city of Bristol the Commissioner of Economic Development for the state of Connecticut. And several of us spent 4 hours with him talking about Bristol, giving him a tour, talking about the importance of the new businesses, the manufacturing, our history, and all the things that make Bristol, Bristol, this event being one of them. By the end of the 4 hours that we spent with him, I think that he left our city with a much different impression than what he had arrived with. And most of that is really compounded by all the work that all of us in this room do. The theme of community, the theme of philanthropy, and the theme of all of us being together in a neighborhood. Because Bristol is, in fact, just one big neighborhood. And it's events like this that reinforce that all the time. Bristol deserves to have the attention of Hartford. We deserve to get our fair share of resources, and we deserve to continue to be proud of who we are, who we have been, our history pieces, and our future. So on behalf of the City Council tonight, I'd like to congratulate all of the recipients, and I look forward to hearing all of the stories that make us who we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Not long ago, we lost two respected individuals. Sadly, we lost Glenn Fortier, who was a member of the 1976 Forestville Little League team that we honored here 2 years ago. We honored them because they participated in the Little League World Series. We also lost a very dear friend of the Bristol Tramps, Mr. Frank Miranda. I ask that we observe just a moment of silence to remember both of them. As we have in the past, we wish to thank Webster Bank for sponsoring the showing of our DVD. And as you can see, Nutmeg TV is filming. And you can check your program book to see the dates and the times that the broadcast will be on. I want to take just a minute to thank Tramps member Kathy Archibald and Bonnie Lodovico for manning our ticket table. Before dinner is served, we would like to honor our 3 scholarship recipients. Thanks to the generosity of the D'Amato Construction Company, the Scalia family, and the John E. Tavera Memorial Fund, and in conjunction with the Tramps Scholarship Fund, the Tramps are pleased to present 3 $1,000 scholarships. We will present our scholarships to a senior from Bristol Eastern, St. Paul Catholic, and Bristol Central. And again this year, a representative of the Tavera, D'Amato, and Scalia families will be presenting the scholarships to the recipients. The first scholarship, the Julie Larice Patricia D'Amato Memorial Scholarship, will be presented by Ed D'Amato Jr. to Aliana Ravora. If you read the Bristol Press, then you know of Ali Ravora. She has been an outstanding 4-year volleyball team player on a strong and very well-coached Bristol Eastern team. As a senior, Ali captained the team. She was named All-Conference for volleyball twice, and in each of her 4 years on the team, she was chosen as the Athlete of the Week by the Bristol Press. Having earned 4 varsity letters and for having a strong GPA, Ali was named a Scholar Athlete. And as a junior, she was chosen to attend the Leadership Breakfast. Academically, Ali has always been in the top 10% of her class. She's also a member of the National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, and the Science National Honor Society. She has been a 4-year member of the Student Council, serving as treasurer, and a member of the Leadership Council. Her volunteer services include sorting ducks for the Pequabic River Duck Race, good Lord, passing the bucket at the Eastern Regional Little League tournaments, and working at soup kitchens. She also has a job as a daycare worker over in Farmington. Ladies and gentlemen, the daughter of Steve and Stacy Ravora and the recipient of the Julie Larice Patricia D'Amato Memorial Scholarship, Ali Ravora.
Good evening. I would first like to congratulate all the honorees tonight and would like to extend my appreciation and gratitude to the D'Amato family for their contributions to make this scholarship possible. I would also like to thank the Bristol Tramps for honoring me with the Julie Larice Scholarship. It is an honor to be given an award in the name of someone who recognized the value and importance of athletics in Bristol. My involvement in athletics has played a vital role in my development as a young adult. My coaches, teachers, and parents worked hard to help instill values such as responsibility, leadership, and commitment. These values have shaped my goals and aspirations for the future, and I hope to maximize my potential using all that I have learned from athletics. I must also thank my family. My dad, brother, sister, and grandpa were my biggest fans. They were always there for me and provided a support system that helped carry me through my athletic and academic career. And lastly, it is important for me to recognize one coach in particular that helped shape who I am today. Not only was she my mom, but she was my coach for the past 4 years. Throughout those 4 years, she continually pushed me to reach my full potential, whether it be in school or volleyball. She always believed in my abilities and never accepted anything less than my best. She taught me many valuable lessons as a player in person that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. She, along with my family, helped mold me into the confident student athlete I am today. I am excited to begin the next phase of my life. I feel that my experiences in athletics and school have prepared me well to accept challenges, face adversity, and seek out opportunities for growth. Thank you once again for this special honor.
Our second scholarship, the Julie Larice Frank Scalia Memorial Scholarship, will be presented by John Lodovico to Pacifico Flores. Academically, Pacifico has done very well at Bristol Central. He's a member of the National Honor Society and a member of the Spanish National Honor Society. In 2018, he was honored with the Jack Hines Scholar Athlete Award. Pacifico has been a member of the outdoor track and field team, the indoor track and field team, and the cross-country team. He was one of the 3 captains of the cross-country team this past fall. He has earned 7 varsity letters, and that feat, along with being a strong student, earned Pacifico a spot on the CCC All-Academic Team. Regarding volunteer work, Pacifico has worked with Our Heroes Fund in Farmington during the Farmington SWAT Challenge, and he has volunteered through the United Way at Indian Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, the son of Tom and Mary Flores and the recipient of the Frank Scalia Memorial Scholarship, Pacifico Flores.
All right, I would like to thank the Bristol Tramps Sports Reunion Committee for helping to make this night possible, as well as the Scalia family. I am very grateful and honored to be selected as a recipient for this scholarship, and a huge part of my development as a successful athlete I have become today goes to my coaches, Coach Stafford and Coach Wiskowski, for always listening to me and helping me to become the best version of myself I could possibly be. To my family, I appreciate all the times you picked me up from practice after working many hours, and I'm very grateful for you guys always making sure I put others and my duties above myself first. Next year, I will be attending Fairfield University in the class of 2023, pursuing a biology major and followed by the pursuit of medical school, as well as being in the honors program. I'm excited to run for cross country for this fall for Division I at Fairfield University, and I will bring everything I've learned from my coaches and experiences as an athlete and carry on bettering myself in all aspects. Thank you.
The final scholarship, the John E. Tavera Family Memorial Scholarship, will be presented by Joe Tavera and Lance Chase to Adam Van Linter. Adam Van Linter has played varsity soccer at St. Paul for 4 years. And over those 4 years, Adam has been a starter in every single game. He captained the team this past season. A Connecticut Coaches Association Senior Bowl selection, Adam also earned All-State honors twice and then received all NVL honors twice as well. Adam made the Bristol All-Press team, and he was recognized with the Bristol School System as the Athlete of the Week. Adam volunteers at Robertson Airport and has also helped out at the March for Life. An industrious young man, he works at Hawks Landing for 3 seasons. And in the winter, he works at Mount Southington. All year long, he works alongside his dad in his dad's carpentry business. An entrepreneur, Adam has been running his own little small business, making and selling his own brand of sweatshirts, t-shirts, and custom sticker decals. Ladies and gentlemen, the son of Frank Van Linter and Tammy Van Linter, and the recipient of the John E. Tavera Family Memorial Scholarship, Adam Van Linter.
Good evening. My name is Adam Van Linter. I am humbled and proud to be one recipient of the Julie Larice John E. Tavera Memorial Scholarship. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Tavera family and the Bristol Tramps organization for this generous scholarship that I will use to further my education. I also like to thank the St. Paul Catholic Administration, Coach Lira, and especially my family for being here tonight and for all the support that they have given me throughout the years. In addition, I would like to congratulate the other honorees here this evening. I am very proud to be in their company. Receiving this award is especially rewarding because it is a recognition of how sports have influenced me to become the best version of myself. Through experiences I faced on the soccer field, I have learned a lot about the importance of leadership. I have learned valuable lessons by working hard as part of a team, motivating not only myself but also others around me, and reaching out to those who may be facing different types of struggles. The short of it is, I matured over the past 4 years, and I learned the definition of responsibility. Much of this is due to various people around me and who challenged and supported my growth on and off the field. Past captains, coaches, and teachers all took an interest in helping me. Through their guidance, I managed to earn a starting varsity spot as a forward my first year on the team. Everyone on the team made me feel welcomed and a part of the program. After seasons of trying to become a better player, as a senior captain, I also wanted to be a better role model for the incoming students. I believe sports have helped me focus in the classroom and become a mentor to others. Lastly, but most importantly, I need to thank my wonderful parents. My parents are the root of my success, from the endless carpools to the many overtimes I had to sit through. They always encouraged and supported me. This has formed who I am today, and I'm so grateful to have them as my parents. Again, thank you for this honor, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
These three young people are clearly a credit to their families, to their schools, and to our own community. They represent the future, and I'm confident that they will continue on the road to becoming strong leaders in their adult lives. Please enjoy your dinner. Coaches, especially coaches in Bristol, are people who work tirelessly to shape the lives and the characters of their players. So as I do every year, I really want each and every coach in this room, whether you have coached, whether you are coaching, to stand up and be recognized for all that you do for our athletes, everybody. And now, as I do every year, I'm going to ask every person in this room that has been a recipient of a Tramps Award to stand and be recognized so that we can thank you again for all that you do, and for many of you, what you continue to do for Bristol sports. So Tramps honorees, please stand. At this time, in keeping with Tony Savino's wishes, I ask that we just take a moment to remember all of our servicemen and women who have lost their lives for our country. Please think about the members of our Bristol National Guard, as well as all of the troops who are serving around the world. This year, the Ron Chenier Award will be presented to Harrison Harry McKinstry IV. Energetic, determined, driven, headstrong, and independent. Those are the adjectives that are used to describe Harry. Harrison McKinstry IV was born in Bristol in 1966, and he spent his entire life here. Harry attended Bristol Central High School in the 80s, where he played football, and he participated for 4 years on the wrestling team, which he captained his senior year. Harry is a fitness enthusiast who trained for 9 road races this past season. However, what makes Harry so unique is his ability to maintain a disciplined fitness regime after suffering a traumatic brain injury before the age of 25. Harry's world was forever changed one day while working as an iron worker in Bridgeport. He recalls being on the construction site as a 2-ton beam came crashing down on him, pinning him to the ground. He remembers bringing himself up to his feet. He remembers walking to the ambulance. And then he has no recollection. It goes dark. After being in a coma for 3 months, Harry was confined to a wheelchair, and he had to learn to speak, eat, and regain some mobility. Nevertheless, he was grateful to be conscious and alive. Years of hard work and dedication helped Harry to regain minimal mobility, enough to join a gym and to practice some basic training, which he did. And then he heard about a new fitness facility opening up in Bristol, Chapter 126, which specializes in disability services and fitness training. Well, Harry was the first member. In fact, he is known as the mayor of 126. He began working out with the trainers, working to achieve his goal, which was to walk. And walk he did, with endless hours of proper coaching from the trained staff there at 126. And Harry's willpower, he can now walk for up to an hour on the Ultra G anti-gravity treadmill. He has also conquered the free weights and can leg press up to 345 pounds. So Harry began training for road racing, with his goal being to participate in a 5K. So he states his goals, and 126 says, we'll help you get there. So they equip him with a customized racing chair, and in the 2018 racing season, Team Harry rolled through a bunch of 5Ks, a bunch of 10Ks, 2 half marathons, and the Hartford Full Marathon. Remarkably, Harry finished his 2018 tour by competing in the world-famous New York City Marathon this year, and before that, so twice. Most recently, Harry participated in the Boston Marathon. With the help of 126, Harry has experienced success due to his own admirable strength, positive attitude, and vision. Ladies and gentlemen, I will pass the microphone over to the very impressive recipient of the 2019 Ron Chenier Award, Mr. Harrison McKinstry, the fourth.
Don't drop it. Don't drop the mic.
You don't drop it on me. Oh, hi, everyone. Hello. Hey, I want to say thank you to the Bristol Tramps. Thank you very much. A lot of people I know from in this room, I want to say thank you. You started me off a little foundation. Now I'm just building things up. I want to say thank you to my gym, Chapter 126. They took over the old girls club building. Yeah, that's where they're at now. I want to say thank you to Achilles. That's a road racing team that's fit for disability people. They make them run. And I also want to say special thanks to Dennis Sigman, my high school coach at Bristol Central. He's the one that gave me the determination not to quit. And I also want to thank my father, my parents, for always being at like every wrestling match. Since I was really young, my father would not miss a match. He was always there. Well, don't pull it. She's only giving me 3 minutes to talk, or she'll pull the mic on me. But I want to say thank to everyone who knows me, that had a part of me when I was younger. thank you. I'm doing this for all of you. Thank you.
This year's Chuck McCarthy Award recipient is Leonard Bagney. Lenny Bagney now lives in Terryville, but he was a Bristol resident for 80 years. He's the longest tenured member of the Pequabic Golf Club, having been a member there for 68 years. Currently, Lenny is the only living honorary member of the club. Rightfully so, Lenny Bagney was featured in a Bristol Press sports article published in December of 2012. By trade, Lenny was an electrician. But following his retirement, he continued to mow at Pequabic until last year when he retired from that job at the age of 91. Over his many years at the club, Lenny has been the president of the hose chairman, the handicap chairman, the greens chairman, and a board member. He held the prior Pequabic course record with a score of 65, and he was runner-up in the City of Bristol's championship. He had 4 hole-in-ones, and at 91 years of age, Lenny shot a phenomenal score of 39 for 9 holes. Most of Lenny's 6 kids enjoy the game of golf, but I think they probably have a long way to go to fill his golf shoes. Please join me in congratulating the remarkable Lenny Bagney as he receives the Chuck McCarthy Award.
Hi, everyone. I express a most heartfelt thank you to the committee for nominating me to receive this prestigious award. I've been a fan of all sports since I was a young child, so it was a privilege to grow up in Bristol with Sports Park with the best teams in the state. I remember walking hand in hand with my dad down Park Street to watch a baseball or football game between the best teams in the state. As I got a little older, my friends and I from Park Street would sneak under the fence to watch games. When we thought someone was watching for us, we would climb the trees behind the right field fence to watch the games. I hope that doesn't mean I won't get the award now. As much as I love sports, my sports abilities weren't that great. I played basketball, sandlot baseball, and baseball for Park Street School. I was a jack of all sports and master of none. But one day after watching Arnold Palmer on TV, I got the bug to play golf and joined Pequabic Golf Club in 1950 for the large sum of $40. Since joining, I was handicap chairman, house chairman, greens chairman, director, and president. I have 3 special achievements at the club that I'd like to share. I came in second for the city championship when we had some of the state's best golfers as members. Pat Mazzarella, Lou Ostosky, Ed Blake, Ed Scotchulis, and Stan Hagen. At that time, I had set a course record of 65, only to have someone in the mini tour post a record 62. I also had 4 holes in 1. I have been part of a great group of people who helped Pequabic Golf Club grow to what it is today as one of the more difficult and most beautiful courses in the state. Congratulations to other honorees, and thanks also to my family and friends, all of you here. Thank you.
The Lydia Jabs Bailey Award is being presented to Jillian Sullivan. At Bristol Central, Jillian Sullivan was a 4-year runner on the cross-country team, the indoor track and field team, and the outdoor track and field team. She captained all of those teams. In her years at Bristol Central, Jillian earned 12 varsity letters, 12 CCC all-academic honors, and she was recognized with all-state honors for 3 seasons. Jillian was also named CCC South All-Conference for 4 years on the cross-country team, and for 3 years each on the indoor and outdoor track and field teams. In 2001, along with Nicole Nolting, Erica Nolting, and Lindsay Bomar, Jillian's relay team won the Class L 4x800 meter relay. In 2002, Jillian was the Class L cross-country champion. In that same year, she placed second in the State Open Championship, 14th in the New Englands, and 42nd in the Northeast Regional. In the City of Bristol individual cross-country race held every year, she was always the champion for all 4 years. After graduating in 2003, Jillian was off to UConn, where she once again was a four-year member of the cross-country team and the indoor and outdoor track and field teams. But in 2006, Jillian made history by becoming UConn's first ever All-American in women's cross country with a 24th place finish at the NCAA championship. That same season, she placed fourth in the Big East championship and was named to the NCAA individual all-academic team for cross country. As a senior at UConn, Jillian earned third team all-academic honors and was the Big East 3,000 meters steeplechase champion, en route to breaking the school record and running in the same event in the NCAA championship. The Tramps are proud to honor Jillian Sullivan with the Lydia Jabs Bailey Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Jillian Sullivan.
Thank you. I'm so honored to receive this award. Congratulations to the other award recipients. Okay. 19 years ago, or a little longer than that, I started cross country at Bristol Central. My first day of practice was also Tamara Stafford Kirk's first day of coaching. Before each meet, Coach Stafford would give all her athletes an index card with a quote on the front and a personalized note on the back of what to work on during the race that day. One of my favorite quotes was "No deposit, no return." For some reason, this quote really resonated with me. Maybe because it was easy to remember during a hard workout, or completing other activities that made me a stronger runner that I didn't really enjoy, such as lifting or stretching. No deposit, no return. Simple and salient. What you put in is what you get out. However, throughout my running career, I realized it's not like returning a soda can. Instant gratification did not occur with running for me. I had to lose a lot of races before I won. I tried to keep my head high and learn from my mistakes so I can improve in my next performance. It's the constant grinding, persistence, patience, and believing in your training that makes a runner a champion. I want to thank all my family and friends for their constant encouragement during my running career. Without them, I would not have been the runner I developed into. To my parents who sacrificed so much of their time to a sport they knew nothing about and only knew it brought their daughter joy, which was all they needed to know to support me. To my husband, Haroon, you inspire me every day with your hard work and dedication to your career. Thank you for continuing to let me chase my dreams. You gave me the most precious gift, a daughter who will eventually be a runner. To Tamara Stafford Kirk, who I call Coach, my athletic accomplishments were a result of you teaching me to push through my limits and believe in myself. I was fortunate at a young age to have an amazing role model like you, and now I'm even more fortunate to have a friendship with you that is like family. Thank you.
The Bill Garrett Award will be presented to Joe DeFlippi. Joe DeFlippi graduated from Bristol Central High School, where he was a standout three-sport athlete. He captained both the football and the basketball teams, leading the teams to conference championships. Basketball team finished with a 22-2 record. And here's a great fact. In 1977, Joe played all 9 positions in one baseball game for the Central's Rams. Joe started his coaching career after college in 1983, and he is still going strong 36 years later. He has served as the varsity boys and varsity girls basketball coach at Bristol Central. He has also coached soccer and baseball at Bristol Central, while also coaching at Bristol Eastern, St. Paul's, and Chippens Hill Middle School. Outside of school, Joe has coached at McCabe Waters Little League, where he led his all-star tournament teams to 3 District 5 championships and back-to-back state championships in 2006 and 2007. He coached AAU basketball, and those teams also won back-to-back state championships in 2005 and 2006. Joe was an assistant coach on the 2011 Bristol American Junior Legion State Championship team, and he also coached Bristol boys travel basketball teams and teams at the Bristol Soccer Club. Did a lot of coaching. Recognized with many awards, Joe was the 1978 Bristol Boys Club Boy of the Year, the 2010 recipient of the Ralph Papazian Leadership Award, And in 2013, Joe was inducted into the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. And tonight, the Bristol Tramps are pleased to honor Joe DeFlippi with the Bill Garrett Award.
Don't worry, I promised all my friends over there I'll keep it short because they're not used to staying up this late. You know who you are. I would like to thank the Tramps Committee for the 2019 Bill Garrett Award. Congratulations to all of tonight's recipients. It's truly an honor to be sharing this evening with you. I was at that state championship cross-country meet. It was an unbelievable race. Congrats again to the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame coach, Tamara Stafford-Kirk, and the team over there. Good job. The list of Bill Garrett Award winners is quite impressive. Some of Bristol's finest coaches have won this award. But all I had to do was look at last year's recipient, Spec Monaco. Anytime you're on a list with Spec, you know you're doing something right. I'm glad to follow you, Spec. The Bill Garrett Award is about being active in sports and giving back to the sports community. Well, I started being active in sports when I was 4, and I haven't stopped. I'm still teaching, coaching, running clinics, and still loving it. When I look back, I realize that I'm old, but also that I've been very lucky. Growing up, I played for some of the best coaches around, Bristol Sports Hall of Famers. I also played with some great players and teammates who would become lifelong friends. Then when I got into coaching, I was very fortunate to work with more outstanding people who have also become my close friends. From coaching McCabe Waters Cardinals, the all-star teams there, the Bristol Boys Club travel teams, Bristol Soccer Club, up-tempo AAU teams, to teams at all 3 Bristol high schools. I have coached with the most dedicated and caring individuals around. It was a pleasure working with you all. I have to give a special thank you to the staff of the Bristol Boys Club and Bristol Park Department for letting me coach, run camps, clinics, and other programs through them. We had over 1,000 kids a year going through my programs, and I couldn't have done it without their support. Now I'd like to thank all my families for their support over the years. I want to thank my Bristol Central family. Thanks to my family of coaches and players I've worked with. Thanks to my family of good friends, a lot of them are here, and relatives who have always been there for me. Thanks to my parents who are still looking over me and my family from above. To my sisters, Sharon and Joanne, who supported me my whole life. To my wife, Judy, especially for typing this in the biggest font she can find. And I still have to wear glasses. Crazy. To my kids, Sarah and Joey, who have always made me a proud father. Their love of sports made it easy for me to stay involved. Joey's working at the University of Hartford now after an outstanding college career where he broke records and was a male athlete of the year. Sarah has followed in my footsteps with teaching and coaching. She is an 8th grade science teacher and varsity girls tennis coach at Bristol Central and is also an outstanding mother to my grandson, Andrew Joseph Wodech. He's only 7 months old and has already made me a proud papa. So Edgewood Little League, I'll be seeing you in 4 years and 5 months. Make sure you keep those fields in tip-top shape. Thank you and have a great evening.
The Hart Broderick Award is being presented to Michael Bedoin. Mike Bedoin attended Bristol Eastern High School, where he co-captained the basketball and baseball teams in his senior year. He was also a member of the Bristol American Legion team that won the state title, the New England regional title, and went on to participate in the World Series. After graduating in 1975, Mike went on to Fairfield University, and before his graduation in 1979, Mike made the All-New England first team as a second baseman. Some impressive stats are that Mike had 9 base hits in a row and set a New England record of 44 RBIs in 35 games. While in college, he played in and was named MVP of the Hartford Twilight League. He was also a member of the Hyannis Mets, which won the Cape Cod Baseball League in 1978. As he graduated from Fairfield, Mike was drafted and signed by the Texas Rangers in the 11th round. Mike Bedoin has received a few honors for his athletic career. He was elected to the Fairfield University the Fairfield University Athletic Hall of Fame in 1987, and he was a member of the 2007 class that was inducted into the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. Mike taught math and coached baseball at St. Timothy's Middle School in West Hartford before joining the faculty at Bristol Eastern in 1994 as a math teacher. From that year until 2009, Mike was the Bristol Eastern assistant baseball coach. In 2001, Mike was honored again when he was named Bristol's Teacher of the Year. Mike and his wife, Mary Ann, are the proud parents of 3 daughters, Rachel, Victoria, and Olivia. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the recipient of the Hart Broderick Award, Mr. Michael Bedoin.
Thank you all. Thank you to the committee and to all of you here tonight. I appreciate it very much. It's hard listening to some of those things that are very hard to remember, actually, being part of that. As you heard Joey reference, our advanced years, it seems like another life years ago that all of that happened, and we're in a different place now. But as it goes, here we are, and I really appreciate that. It's very hard with a guy whose memory is a little fuzzy, standing in front of a group of people whose organization is dedicated to remembering things. And I sometimes feel out of place about that. But in any case, I appreciate that. It was very hard hanging out with a couple of good friends of mine, Pete Losey and Spec Monaco, who remembered everything. And Pete would often reference certain pitches I would throw to batters in games, and Spec would come by and talk about, oh, you remember we did that against West Hartford, and we remember. I said, no, I don't remember any of that. How do you remember all of that? But I do remember Spec. One of my memories that I do have is Spec's first at bat at Forestville Little League. I think I hit him in the back with a fastball. Right, Spec? But although it shouldn't have hurt too much because all my fastballs had arcs on them anyway, which I know Mike Giovinazzo in the back can verify. At a high school game, I was warming up on the sideline, and a Cincinnati scout was in the stands, and I was popping the mitt, feeling like $1 million, and everything's going good, and Mike walks over to me and goes, Mike, he wants to see you throw a fastball. I go, fastball? That's what I was doing. Anyway, but in any case, this is a wonderful organization that I know the Bristol Tramps, and I was trying to do some research back on Julie Larice and Hart Broderick and all of that back there. And my daughter came up to me this past week and said, Dad, I was looking things up, and they said, you know, that they used to be called the Bristol Bums, and they wanted to be that name, and for some reason Julie and the guys changed it over to the Tramps to make it more sellable or whatever, as it was that way. But I think with this honor, you bring so much honor to me and my family that are here tonight, and my father would have been very proud because he was a simple, humble man who didn't believe that he was deserving of some of the niceties in life. My brother, who was an airline pilot, one day upgraded him from coach to first class on one of their flights, and he just could not believe it. He goes, I don't belong in first class. I should be with the riffraff in the back. And he always talked about himself being part of the riffraff in the back, and I think he would have been very proud that I am getting a label as a tramp. And I know, so I want to thank you all for remembering, and thank you all for coming here tonight. To all my the other honorees, thanks and congratulations.
The Ed Lodovico Award will be presented to Mark Monarat Sr. Mark was born in Waterbury, and he attended Sacred Heart High School, where he was a 3-sport athlete. He played baseball, basketball, and football. While in high school, Mark made All-NVL as a shortstop and also earned All-State honors while playing for the American Legion Corporal Coyle, Post 1 of Waterbury. In 1966, Mark attended St. Leo University in Florida on a baseball scholarship. He played for 4 years with a batting average of .328 and was honored as Small College All-American. While at St. Leo, Mark received his Bachelor of Arts degree, and upon graduation, he enlisted in the Army National Guard, where he served for 6 years as a medic. In 1971, Mark began teaching and coaching at St. Matthew's School in Forestville. While there, he coached 10 championship basketball teams, 2 of which played in the finals in the New England tournament. In addition to basketball, Mark also coached the baseball team, and that team went on to win 4 city championships. In 1987, Mark became the first lay principal at St. Joe's School here in Bristol. While there, he continued to coach basketball, and he assisted in baseball. During this time, Mark also coached JV basketball at St. Paul Catholic High, where he was part of 2 state final teams. In 1988, St. Paul beat New London High, and 3 of the 5 starting players were those he had previously coached at St. Matthew: Tim Peichel, Pete Wininger, and Mark Monnerat Jr. Mark retired from St. Joe's in 2015, having taught for 45 years in Catholic education. He is married to his bride of 47 years, Suzanne Brown Monnerat. Together they have raised 3 children, Mark Jr., Kimberly, and Melissa. They're very proud of their daughter-in-law and 2 sons-in-laws, and consider themselves blessed to be the grandparents of Caitlin, Ryan, Elizabeth, and Jacqueline. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the Ed Lodovico Award, Mr. Mark Monnerat, Sr.
First, I want to thank Almighty God for giving me the strength and courage to be here tonight. I'd also like to thank the Bristol Tramps for honoring me to this award. I'm humbled tonight. I'd like to thank the Monnerat family, all my siblings here tonight, my relatives and friends, especially St. Joseph's. I'd like to thank my bride, Suzanne. We'll be married 48 years in August. She's been by my side every step of the way. She has supported me for 48 years in coaching, teaching, and principalship. She's been my side the last 3 years. It's been difficult for her, but she's my girl. Suzanne, we only just begun. I'd like to thank the St. Matthew, St. Joseph, St. Paul's for allowing me to coach. Wait a minute. I was principal at St. Joe's. Allowed myself to coach. Good or bad. I want to congratulate all the other honorees. I'm really privileged to be here tonight. When I come back home, I go to see my heart doctor, Rahmatullah. He's from Pakistan. Awesome guy. First 2 times were family weddings. 3rd time St. Paul's dedicated their gymnasium to our brother, Father Brian Monnerat. 4th time I came up, my 1st grade teacher of 10 years died. Her and her husband supported me in teaching, coaching, and principalship. They had 9 wonderful children. I'm honored to say I taught all 9 children. So I told the doctor, I'm going to be honored by the Bristol. I said, if I said Tramps, I'd probably be still in his office. I said, wonderful Bristol sports organization is on me. He put his hand on my shoulder and Mark, talk slowly and briefly. God bless the Bristol Tramps.
The Coach Dan Valerio Committee Award will be awarded to Phil Manarino. Phil Manarino attended St. Anthony's High School, where he played baseball and basketball for 4 years, and soccer in his sophomore, junior, and senior years. Recognized as a leader, Phil was a captain of all 3 teams in his senior year. Phil was a 3-year member of Bristol's American Legion team, which won 3 league championships, 2 state championships, and was a New England finalist. After high school, Phil went to Central Connecticut State College, where he played baseball for 4 years, and once again was named team captain in his senior year. Phil then played for 3 years in the Hartford Twilight League on the Valco Machine team, which won a league championship. After coaching basketball at Plainville Junior High, Coach Manarino became the JV baseball coach at Plainville High for 4 years. And then he spent 22 years there as the varsity softball coach, during which time his teams earned a record of 313 wins, 153 losses. And in those 22 years, his team never had a losing record. They won 6 conference championships, and the team made it to a state final game. Phil was also the girls' varsity soccer coach at Bristol Eastern for 23 years. During that time, he coached 60 all-conference players and 1 all-star player. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the recipient of the Coach Dan Valerio Committee Award, Mr. Phil Manarino.
Good evening. You know, after I received this honor, notification of this honor, I received a packet of information to fill out about the things that were going to be going on tonight. In one section, it said, keep your speech under 3 minutes. And it had an asterisk after it. So, you know, when you see something like that, you look on the bottom, you look around the other side, the other pages, no asterisk. I figured that doesn't apply to me. It must be to the younger honorees, you know, have a tendency to talk about the good old days and stuff like that. Okay. Congratulations to the other honorees tonight for their many, many accomplishments, and they are plenty. Thanks to Tony Carrier for all his help in getting ready for tonight and keeping my speech short. I used to enjoy coaching against Tony. We had the Bristol Central, Bristol Eastern soccer games. Special time, very special. There was high emotion, usually a great atmosphere, and usually also something at stake, if only bragging rights to the city. I used to enjoy coaching against Tony in those games because he was one of the few people that could yell louder than me. Hey, what are you doing out there? Thanks, Tony. I'm extremely proud to receive this honor from the Bristol Tramps in the name of Coach Danny Valerio, who was my baseball coach at St. Anthony's Junior High for 2 years, and also my basketball coach for 3 years. I'm very happy to also share this award tonight with my good friends, Bob, Patty Callett, my daughters, Jody and Jill, my sons-in-law, thank you, Jill, my sons-in-law, John and Scott, my grandsons, Evan and Andrew, and the coach, the head coach of our family, my wonderful wife, Linda. Coach Valerio was a big, burly guy, and he could be intimidating to a scrawny 6th grader, but he had the heart of gold, and he was fair to his players. And I tried to emulate that fairness in my coaching as well. Was I always successful? No. I was a coach, not a saint. But I tried to do my best for my players and for my team. And I can honestly say that I liked my teams in Plainville and Bristol. And not just the most successful ones either. My second year coaching soccer at Bristol Eastern, our team had a record of 1-11-1. I really liked that team. They came to practice every single day and games, wanting to get better and never complained. The next year, I became a much better coach. Why? Roland Corbin was hired as our assistant. From then on, whenever there was a suggestion by Roland, it was, Yes, Roland. Okay, that's a good idea. Let's try that. And usually it worked out for the best. Let's see. Okay, now, was I always successful? Nope, I wasn't always successful. But I did my best for my team. I did my best for my players. And even though I wasn't the greatest coach, I tried to be a good person. I would also like at this time to mention some other people. Jimmy Tetro, who was our faculty manager at Bristol Eastern, for his invaluable help. Joanne Galati for giving me an opportunity to coach at Bristol Eastern. Our athletic directors, Greg Ziogas and John Zadnik at Plainville, for all their support, and there was a lot of support there. And to all of my assistants over the years at both schools. And also, or finally, I'd like to thank Tommy Moylan and Hal Kilby for allowing me to volunteer and help coach when my son was playing at Bristol Central and for the Legion team. I always wanted my players to compete, no matter what the other team's record was, no matter what our record was, no matter how many players the other team had that were successful, it didn't matter. Compete until the end of the ball game. Give your best effort for the good of the team, and you can walk away satisfied. I was always satisfied with our effort, no matter the outcome. Thank you very much to the Bristol Tramps for this honor. In the name of Coach Valerio, thank you very much.
This year, the Julie Larice Team Award is being presented to the Bristol Central High School 2010 Boys Cross Country Team. The 2010 Bristol Central Boys Cross Country Team was the first in school history to bring home a state title. The championship was a culmination of years of hard work by the boys on the team. Led by seniors Connor Kelly and Mike Dupre, the boys went into summer training with the mindset of winning. They ran up to 50 miles a week that summer. Joined by senior Ethan Washburn and juniors Jacob Eschner and Jake Mancini to round out the top 5, the team raced with grit and diligence all season. They won the 61st Greater Hartford Invitational in early October, and then the CCC South Championship, sweeping the top 6 positions. People in the running community took notice. On October 30th, 2010, the team brought home the state title, finishing with 71 points, taking 6th, 9th, 10th, 14th, and 32nd places, followed by Darien and Pomperog. Junior Brendan Gonsalves and sophomore Spencer Johnson rounded out the top 7 runners in the race for Bristol Central. Several members of that team went on to have strong collegiate careers, but here is what is so very impressive. Connor Kelly still holds the Bristol Central cross-country record on the old course at Rockwell Park, as well as the 3,200-meter record for outdoor track and field. Mike Dupre still holds the 1,600-meter record, and Jacob Eschner holds the 800-meter record for the boys' outdoor track and field team. The foursome of Mike Dupre, Connor Kelly, Jake Mancini, and Jacob Eschner are still the title holders for Bristol Central's 4x880-meter relay. Those boys could run. They probably still can. As I call your name, and you look, please, everyone look back there. I ask that each team member stand up so that we can recognize you. Captain Mike Dupre, Jacob Eschner, Jake Mancini, Ethan Washburn, Spencer Johnson, and Brendan Gonsalves. Accepting the Julie Larice Team Award for Bristol Central Boys 2010 Cross Country Team will be Curtis McMillan. Accompanying him is Captain Mike Dupre.
Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, Connor Kelly couldn't make it here tonight. He had a family matter come up. He's asked me to speak in his absence. I met Connor on our first day of high school. We were fast friends, eventual teammates, and now I consider him family. I'm very honored to give this speech with him not being here today. I want to start by saying thank you to the Bristol Tramps for recognizing the accomplishments of the state championship BC boys cross country team. We may specifically be emphasizing the honors and remembering the experiences we shared as a team in 2010, but I would be remiss not to mention the dozens of athletes that ran with pride and purpose for BC and Coach Stafford before us. It was a stellar example of the runners we had looked up to as when we were just boys entering high school that motivated us to achieve something that no Bristol cross country or track team had done since 1967 in winning a state title. Improvement and success in cross country, like most athletic endeavors, does not just happen because your cardiovascular system is more efficient than others. But of course, that helps. Success in running is achieved by pushing through unrelenting pain, through bodily sacrifice, and it's seized by teams that recognize that championships are earned with years and years of preparation and dedication. That sounds a little dramatic, and maybe it is, but the aching knees, hips, ankles, arches, and or backs that we endured from the thousands of miles we ran as high school and collegiate athletes can certainly vouch for this sentiment. My barking knees sometimes make me feel like we had run in 1967. But I would not be who I am today. All of us would not be who we are today without the experience we had as BC cross-country runners under Coach Stafford. This feeling was evident when I asked the other members of our varsity team to contribute thoughts to the speech tonight. Spencer Johnson credits his experience as a BC athlete and Coach Stafford's passion for the sport for fermenting the importance in him of goal setting and hard work to succeed in distance running. Spencer remembers having a conversation with Coach Stafford when he first started, stating that if he was expecting to run varsity, he needed to commit to running every single day in the offseason. And I'm sure as hell that he didn't skip a day. Coach Stafford individualizes her trainings in this way for all her runners, and this is largely why she's able to get so many to buy into her programs. Like myself, Spencer credits a lot of his growth as a runner and as a person to the mentorship of upperclassmen. Although he would be very humble about his accomplishments post-high school, Spencer went on to have a phenomenal career in cross-country and track at Marist College, and he continues to compete in marathons today. Thank you, Spencer. Brendan Gonzalez highlighted how astonishing our collective selflessness as a team was. He recalls that no one was self-centered and that everyone was concerned with each other's individual performances. Because of this, we were able to achieve team accolades usually reserved for top-tiered schools like Glastonbury, New Milford, Danbury, Fairfield, and many others. Brendan points to Coach Stafford for establishing this culture, specifically the meticulous notes she writes to each athlete before every meet, no matter their ability level, as a last-second source of motivation, and well, because great coaches never stop coaching. Thank you, Brendan. Ethan Washburn, always silent, but always steadfastly devoted. The description, leader by example, personifies Ethan to a T. Without Ethan's tremendous race at the Class Ls, the team may not have won the championship back in 2010. Thank you, Ethan. Jacob Eschner and Jake Mancini almost entirely shout out the direction and mentorship of Coach Stafford as a catalyst for their success. Bristol athletics and high school programs in general are filled with competent and caring coaches, but Coach Stafford's athletes' regard for her is reverential in nature. Coach Stafford has earned this respect no doubt 10 times over, but I would add Jacob and Jake are what a coach might describe as naturally gifted runners. Despite their reservations to speak to their individual accomplishments, I always marveled at the unselfishness that these two very gifted and strong-willed men exemplified for the team. Thank you, Jake and Jacob. Speaking of naturally gifted runners, and no offense to Jake and Jacob, but Mike Dupre is without a doubt the most effortlessly talented distance runner I have ever competed with at any level. And this is an exaggeration. He could fall out of bed and run a 4:30 mile. No doubt, I'm sure he still can. Mike describes being so close and spending so much time with our varsity team and others that we became brothers. He also remembers entering our last year collectively knowing we had the talent to achieve something special and executing because of the confidence Coach Stafford instilled in us. He, like many of us, are thankful for always having that state championship experience to share with each other. In closing, thank you, Mike. In closing, the emotional and memorial benefits of attaining the state title our team has been working towards for 3+ years are immeasurable. Although that accomplishment certainly was our seminal team achievement, our victory over the top team in the state, Xavier, at the Greater Hartford Invitational, and the continued dominance in the CCC South for years were just as sweet. I strongly believe that the work ethic and values that I cultivated under the tutelage of Coach Stafford and with my teammates has had an enormous impact on who I am and the way I live my life today. I am thankful that our team accomplishments allow us to be honored with the other athletes, coaches, and teams that embody a storied Bristol sports tradition. Sports, to me, are a vehicle for experiencing life and for committing oneself towards growth and self-betterment. The relationships we've built along the way are pretty good, too. I'm also grateful for learning these lessons so early in my life as a member of Bristol Central Cross Country. Thank you again to the Bristol Tramps for honoring the 2010 Bristol Central Boys Cross Country team, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
Glenn Kornichuk, a 1978 graduate of Bristol Central and currently the president of Gateway Youth Athletic Association in Massachusetts, has graciously donated, once again, $1,000 to the Tramps organization in order to support the Tony Savino Pay It Forward Award. The Savino family chose the Bristol Central High School Unified Sports Program as a recipient of the Tony Savino Pay It Forward Award. Unified Sports is a school-based program that affords students with physical and intellectual disabilities the opportunity to participate in athletics. In Connecticut alone, there are approximately 9,500 athletes and partners participating. Athletes work with the partners, those students who are not disabled, and together they develop self-esteem. This program is a win-win for everyone involved. At Bristol Central, the Unified program is for students from both Bristol Central and Bristol Eastern. The program is run by Rosemary Rustick, who has been a special ed paraprofessional for 14 years and the coach for 9 years. Her teams, which include soccer, basketball, track and field, and bowling, participate in Bristol tournaments and games at other schools. Currently, there are 28 students and 14 partners involved with 3 skill-based teams. Rosemary says that she does not only help the athletes to win medals, she helps them to have great experiences and triumphs. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to thank Rosemary Rustick for directing and coaching Bristol's Unified Sports team.
On behalf of the coaches, athletes, and partners of Bristol Central and Bristol Eastern Unified Sports, I would like to thank the Bristol Tramps for hosting this amazing event. But most importantly, we'd like to thank everyone involved with the Tony Savino Pay It Forward Award. I cannot even begin to express how much we appreciate this very generous award. I find it very fitting that as Mr. Savino encouraged the people that he met to pay it forward, that is one of the many things that Unified Sports does. I can assure you this award will be used to do exactly that. As my family can attest, whenever someone asks me about Unified Sports, I tend to go on and on and on about what a great program it is. But no worries. I promise I'll try not to do that tonight. Well, maybe a little bit. Unified Sports is a life-changing program. I'm so proud of the young men and women that have participated in the past and are currently participating in this program. It has been an honor to be a small part of their successes. Unified Sports offers students with and without physical and intellectual disabilities the opportunity to play in team sports. As mentioned earlier, our team bowls and plays soccer, basketball, and track and field. We hold weekly practices and play in tournaments throughout the state of Connecticut during the school year. We also host a soccer tournament every year on our home field. This event is always well attended by many of our local dignitaries, including the mayor, members of the Board of Education, the Bristol Police Department, and staff and students from both schools. Currently, we have about 30 students who participate in 3 different skill levels. With each year and each sport, our team continues to grow. There's no cross-town rivalry between our 2 high schools. Everyone is welcome. We have unified to become a true example of a team. The partners are students without disabilities who assist the athletes on the field of play. Athletes and partners practice and compete together. They form friendships on and off the field. The partners recognize and appreciate the differences and similarities that they share with the athletes. Together, The whole team sees increases of self-esteem, positive attitudes happen, behaviors change for the better, and everyone can share their mad skills. Not a school day goes by without members of the team high-fiving each other at lunch or when they see each other in the halls. They've actually all become friends. Here in Bristol, we're very fortunate in that we have an inclusive school community, complete with values of tolerance, patience, and kindness. The athletes are unique individuals with unique interests, with likes and dislikes in varying ways of expression. Through unified sports, the athletes have the opportunity to develop physical fitness, demonstrate courage, and experience joy. The smiles on the faces of these students is priceless. You can actually feel the pride and excitement they're feeling. It's truly genuine and from their hearts. In unified sports, students don't have to be afraid to try. They don't have to be the top scorer. Yes, we earn medals and we have competition, but that's not what it's about. It's about the experience. It's about the ability, not the disability. It's about triumphs and about students helping each other. It's about paying it forward. Thank you and good night.
At this time, I'd like to acknowledge our Tramps Sports Reunion Committee members. Vice Chair, Dan Valerio Jr., Past Chair, John Lodovico, Executive Director, Carolyn Ziogas, our Treasurer, Joe Tavera, our Webmaster, Kathy Savino. I recognize and I thank personally all of the members of the Bristol Tramps Sports Reunion Committee for making this another enjoyable reunion. Please stand and be recognized. I ask that you be seated as Father Nick gives the benediction.
Almighty God, we praise you and give you glory for all the gifts you bless us with. We thank you for the gifts of food and friendship we have shared here this evening. We thank you for the dedication and inspiration of those honored here today. Continue to bless us all with the ability to follow their examples in using our own talents for the good of all those in the world around us, as well as for your greater honor and glory. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord.
Thanks for coming tonight. Drive carefully.